right. Sorry about the abrupt end. My name is Mother Banjo, your host for Back Catalog Listening Party. Happy Friday. You can tell my co-host Anthony Ihrig is not here. He would have done a much smoother fade out there than I did, but we're happy to have you along today on this show where we invite different guest artists to dig into old records with us. And today we have joining us from her home in upstate New York, Natalia Zukerman. Yay!
Hi.
So happy to have you here with us today. And I can hear, earlier I heard the birds chirping. Yeah, there they go.
Yes, I
Lovely.
live in a log cabin. It's not a fake background. I live, yeah, in the woods, kind of.
Nice.
Actually, a friend just said yesterday, he's like, you've been playing the type of music that matches your house for many years. Now you finally moved to a place with a porch.
Wonderful. Well, we are happy to have you here. And it looks like folks are joining the party early today. Alan joining us. Going keto. So going from his gin and tonic to a dirty martini.
I see.
He normally
Okay.
has a gin and tonic. But
Right,
so
martini, gluten-free,
exactly. Well,
whatever,
kudos, Al.
Tito's.
I don't know how
Uh-huh.
far you are in your process, Alan, but good luck with it.
Good luck.
And Connie, hi from Richfield, and our good friend Matt Winters from Urbana, Illinois.
Nice.
And yeah. Oh, and Alan put in the applause. I didn't have the sound. I don't have all the cool sound. Usually Tony Eric
Ah,
has all the like array of like he does it from his studio and has all
don't
the
tell them what they're
device.
missing.
No, but Alan is providing it. Is my point? Is people are
I
providing the
see.
applause themselves. Joe from South Minneapolis has a John Prine in
Pretty good.
hand. All right, and then and Britt
Hey,
joining us,
Britt.
and then Anne says school's out for the summer. That's right. So
Who's
for all
out
the
for
all the
summer?
so congratulations to the teachers for making it through another year, and the kiddos, and then the parents have at it. And then we have and Joni too. Hi everybody. We're so happy you've joined us for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party. As I said, normally we have a my co-host is joining us, but he's off in the wilds up north doing some gigs, so he's not in internet land. But I'm really excited that Natalia is my guest today because I just haven't even seen you in a long time, Natalia. I can't even remember the last time, even online, that we've gotten to see each other. So
I know it's been a minute.
it has been a minute, but as we like to say every Friday, it's been a week because it always is. It seems these days. So I'm happy to end it with music and kick off our weekend with a drink and some conversation. And because it's Friday, I got out my local brew from up north
Nice.
in Two Harbors, Minnesota, up near Lake Superior, Castle Danger Cream Ale. Natalia, are you? I hear you're snacking on something. What
I'm
else are
having
you?
some popcorn, and mixed in with my popcorn are some wasabi peas just to keep it interesting.
Nice, a little
And I
zing for
have
your
some
Friday.
local water.
Awesome. And let us know where you're tuned in from, what you're drinking, as some folks already have. If you are enjoying something on your Friday afternoon, either way, what it's really about here is the music and the conversation. So we're really excited to dig into Natalia's. We determined it really did come out in 2012. We had to do some digging, right, Natalia? We were like
Yeah.
looking at the physical CD, trying to see when
Well,
it really
there's
came out.
that's what happens in like two things have happened where oh yeah, I made that record a few years ago or 10. And then also when we made the album cover art, which Adrian Gonzalez, who sings and plays on it, also designed it. The font is so tiny, and I remember being like, "It's fine." And now I mean, I can't see that, and so I apologize to everybody who was right. I mean, you can't. Nobody can do that.
Well, luckily, we're going to give the oral history here of the album today, which I'm really excited about. And folks, again, if you're new to the show, just throw in your comments or questions as we go, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. But for folks who maybe aren't as familiar with your music, maybe you want to give a little brief bio, Natalia, about where you grew up, how you came into making music, and maybe what the context of this record in particular.
Yeah. Well, so I've been on tour since 2005, pretty much all the time. And I had just released my first two records with Willie Porter. We made two records together, and one was Brand New Frame, and one in 2008 that came out, and then Gas Station Roses, which also came out in 2012. That's why I was confused. But I think we were busy, and I was on the road with these incredible humans. and others, but I had been mostly playing with the crew that are represented here, and I actually was playing a lot as a duo with Mona Tavicoli, amazing drummer, and Raining Jane, who's also Jason Mraz's band. She's incredible. And so we thought, maybe we'll just hire somebody and we'll do a duo tour and we'll see what we get. And then I was like, let's see who else is around. And it was one of those, like, everybody said, I'll come. So suddenly it was a party. And we got together the night before at Trina Hamlin's house and practiced the songs and got to the show and thought maybe we would get a 6-song EP, and it became 22 songs because these people are just pros. And it was one of those, it was truly magical. And then I kind of had a massive postpartum because I thought, well, crap, like, where do I go from here? It felt like my bat mitzvah and my funeral and my wedding. It was an incredible celebration. And I don't know, it was just, I was really blessed to have these humans come and play this music. It's really the thing I'm most proud of still to this day of the music that I've recorded.
That's awesome. And it's also, by the way, for folks, again, we're talking 2012. So this, I mean, you still have CD copies, but 22 songs meant 2 discs. So, I mean, that's like, it's not like now, of course, with digital stuff, you can have like as many songs as you want, right? But the fact that you were like, no, we're going to make this like a double album is kind of a bigger deal. And it takes the inside of this album, by the way, of all these people to fit on the photo even of all the guest artists. And I can't wait to listen to some tracks and you can tell us about the personnel and all of that. Yeah, I want to dig into this record because some of the songs are longer, and I want to make sure we get to as many of them as we can.
Okay.
So the first song that you picked from this record is "Haunted House." Is there anything you want to say about this before we dig into the record?
Yeah, so the only other time I recorded this song was a solo record that I recorded at Melissa Ferrick's house. We were up in her attic, and I think that was my 3rd record that I made, and I was never thrilled with it. It was just me. And so Trina Hamlin just kills it. And honestly, I've barely played the song since because it's one of those, like, it was just sort of like, play Starry Night again, man. Like, we're good. I think that was it. I thought maybe someday I would re-record it with a full band because it's one of those songs that kind of feels like a rocker, but she took it to this astral plane. So
Awesome.
there it is.
Well, we're going to enjoy it now together. This is Natalia Zukerman, Haunted House, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I think so, yeah. All right.
To get spooky.
You made me wretched. You made me feel stupid. You made me feel ugly without even trying. Boo, you made me want you, but you made me feel nothing. Then you made me promise when you knew I was lying. And this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. Like a house wants to be haunted. Is this what you wanted? There's nobody here, I'm all by myself, just like that book that you kept on your shelf. You knew when you bought it you would never read it, but you kept it around anyway. And this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. this what I wanted? Is this what I've been waiting for? Well, it's too late to turn back now, but it is so dark and I'm afraid here, and the wind is starting to as a legend would have it, if you get real quiet, you can see something like they used to be. And I see a house, it's got boarded up windows, it's got them squeaky floorboards, and a note on the door that says, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. We're a house that's haunted, but that's what we wanted. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Trina Hamlin on the harmonica.
Welcome to the talk show. Thank you.
This is Miss Mona Tavicoli on the cajon and bow.
All right. I love that. The beauty of a live record is we don't need any applause tracks because it's built into the song. So
We're
great.
such a good crowd that night. My goodness.
Yeah. So again, you said this was recorded at the Space in Evanston, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Is this over one night, 2 nights?
One
One
night
night?
only.
One epic
You
night.
get what you get. And I forgot. Listening to this, I had a terrible sore throat, of course, because I had just been holding on to everything, and the adrenaline kind of covered some of that up. But I can hear it in my was straining.
But you can't get
yeah.
that kind of energy from a studio, no matter how much magic. This is actually the first, I think this might be the first live record we've done in back catalog. Some of our regulars and our Patreon supporters can correct me if I'm forgetting something, but I think we might have had some live elements from some of the tracks, but I think this is the first live album we've done. And so it is kind of fun to think about oh, this was really one event captured. And we talk a lot about that with old recordings. No matter how much time you spend crafting stuff in the studio, the next day you might have done it differently. So it can only ever capture a moment in time. But this album really did capture a couple hours of one
It
evening.
really did. And I mean, that's the beauty of temporal arts. I think that's what we've been missing so much. It's just that there's nothing like it. You can't recreate. And somehow, even social media has taken away from that a little bit, because everybody's there recording the thing that should maybe just be a mandala in the wind, but there it is. So yeah, and I mean, I will say that Evanston Space is a recording studio, so they are top of the line everything. And Willie Porter, who's just a genius, everything, but also engineer, I got there, we were there all day. A friend of mine catered it. It was really incredible. But he was there all day. I think he might have slept there, and he was just sounding out every microphone and really working his ass off for me. And then when we took it back to mix it, I said it was a bit like an archaeological dig, because there were also just so many people involved. So which microphone was picking up and where to find it, and then finding the balance, after the fact. So there is definitely a lot of canoodling that happens after. But yeah, that magic kind of thing. And the audience was the 15th band member. They were so right there. It was awesome.
Well, and did they know when when you were first planning the show, did you know it was going to be a live recording, or was this kind of something you added on later once you got all these guests lined up that you were going to record it?
Oh no, I Mona and I were going to do just a duo, maybe 3 nights and hire somebody, but I asked everyone to come, just put it out there thinking like, I don't know, like if Aaron or Susan Werner or somebody was in Chicago, they would come, but people flew in. It was like I said, it was sort of like my bat mitzvah, my wedding, my funeral. My peeps showed up, and
So that means people who bought the
Joni,
tickets.
that was Trina Hamlin
Oh,
on
yeah.
harmonica, the one and only.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
And-
nobody plays like that.
Well, and I was wondering, listening to that fiery. So there's 3 of you playing on that song, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
With that sound of the wind at one point coming in, was that Trina just not blowing any notes through her harmonica, or what was making that sound? This was
You
maybe
hear
in the
wind?
beginning.
I don't know. Did I have some passing gas? I think
No, it
the
sounded
slide
like
guitar can get a very
Yeah.
woo woo. I also have a little delay pedal.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
might have been overtone, undertone. Who knows?
Or maybe it was
Yeah.
just the spirits of the space that night. Who knows?
It is a spooky song, so
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Yeah, that's great. Well, and it must have been cool for those people who bought tickets who were like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna see this live show," and then it ends up being like all these people coming to the show.
Yeah, I mean, it was a sold out. It was just one of those super energetic, and we did everything once, and then there were 2 songs that I was like, I think actually Willie and I stood backstage and said, I kind of screwed the pooch on a few
Mhm.
key lines, or somebody did something weird, and we're like, let's see if the audience would be cool with us trying it one more time. So we did 2 of them. We did
Cool.
again, and there was actually 2 songs that we did play that didn't make the cut because I think something weird happened sonically. But this is 22 songs.
I know.
It's
I was going to
plenty.
say, usually, well, that's why I asked how many nights, because it does seem like most live recordings, for folks who don't know how like the sausage gets made in live recordings, one of the reasons people don't do them a ton is you think it'd be easier, but it's not. It's like, I mean, sure, the performance might feel easier, but as Natalia was mentioning, like the after, like trying to really make sure the levels are all right and all of that can be really challenging because there's no
Yeah.
isolation and all that stuff. But also things that felt good in a performance setting when you just hear the audio don't translate. So you have to be really picky about. So most times when people make live recordings, they're not even in the same venue. They could be like,
Yeah.
like a whole tour, and they're just recording every night and they get the best takes, and
Right, and
or
they piece them together, and it's not a one take, or
right.
they do overdubs, and I did none of that. It really was just truly these folks we'd also all been on the road together for 10 years at that point, playing their songs, my songs. I actually thought, since it is the 10-year anniversary, it would be so cool to do it again, but like do all of Garrison's songs, or
Yeah.
if we keep doing it, and people have done stuff like that, but I don't know, just a thought. If you're out there,
It would be
Gabby.
it would be really fun to do that. And yeah, the fact that you got 22 songs. So I don't know how many songs you played that. You said there were only 2 that you
We
left
played
off.
24, so
That's a pretty good
we
track
left off
record.
2. I know. Track record. Haha.
Which
Yeah.
also says something about the quality of personnel that you had joining you. And as you said, you had Trina and Monica on that track. How many?
Trina
You said,
Hamlin. Yeah.
yeah. So how many guests did you have total? Did you say 15?
Yeah, so I will tell you because I don't want to leave anybody off. And oh my God, I really can't see this. It's
Let's
just
see. I
awful.
think I also pulled out my copy. I
Uh,
have my CD
yeah,
copy.
we had Edie Carey. What, I can't see it worse with my glasses. Oh my gosh. AG is Adrian Gonzalez, Trina Hamlin, Ann Heaton, Aaron McKeown, Willie Porter, Garrison Starr, Mona Tavicoli, Susan Warner.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's
That's
pretty heavy
pretty
crew.
pretty awesome. And for regulars of the Back Catalog Listening Party, or even if you're new to the show, we've had both Susan Werner and Edie Carey as guests on the show. And Edie had sent a message today saying she was really sad she couldn't join in and share some stories because she's off on a family trip today. But kind of near your neck of the woods, Natalia. So maybe you'll cross paths. But if you want to check out those episodes, you definitely should. If you go to backcatalog listening party.com, we have all our past shows, and we're now on the 113th episode of the Back Catalog Listening Party. So there's lots to check out. But today, again, we're chatting with Natalia Zukerman. If you have comments or questions, throw them in the comments. And we're going to get to as many, not all 22 songs. I can tell you that right now. But we will get to a bunch of them today. And the next track you picked to feature on today's show, Natalia, is Always. Is there anything you want to say about this?
God. This song is just so crushingly sad, and yet people have asked me to play it at their wedding. I'm like, it's a breakup song, but okay. Yeah, it's just, a lot of these songs came from my early, very angsty time of my writing and part of my life. And this is one of those songs too. Once these songs were recorded in such a way that felt like, oh, okay, now they live in a place, they are archived correctly, I can put them away. And that's not a song I play anymore because it's very painful to me. But because it was done so beautifully also, I feel like it took on a different life of its
almost
own.
like the swan song for the song in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, I have played it once or twice, but not a lot. It's just, it's just one of those that was like, oh, I'm good. I'm done now. I release. So, yeah, I hope if anybody's in a spot where they need some help releasing, I hope that this song does that for you.
Excellent. Well, this is Natalia Zukerman with Always here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
One more spin around the sun, the difference of a year. Well, I've been living like I'm on the run, but I keep ending up back here. Keeping it in between the ditches, having the most fun I can, on the search for the world's best sandwich. I never said I had lofty plans. My plan was you, your plan was me. And with all those people listening, we said always, always, all those ways you do. We said always, always, is that something you undo? All the times we drove out west into the tyranny of the setting sun, I said, so close your eyes and rest. Even soldiers get to sleep some. That's how you needed me to see you, full of bravery. Nothing has more fragility than saying always, always, all those ways you do. Always, always, is there something you undo? Hey, hey, hey. Spinning round a star on some things we realize, like when things get hard, you throw your hands up in the sky, and then there is no you, there is no me, there's only stars witnessing always, always.
All right, Natalia Zukerman with Always from her live album Gypsies and Clowns, which we are revisiting today on the back catalog listening party. Natalia joining us from her home in upstate New York, and I'm here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And all of you are tuned in from all over the place enjoying the music. And Britt had said, always such a gut wrenching, awesome song. So, and as you
Thanks,
said, since you
Britt.
don't play it live much anymore, this was kind of in a lot of ways, it's sort of farewell. It's really nice to hear that again. And I don't know, can you remember? You probably don't, but what you might have been saying to, because right at the end of some of these songs, I'm sure it was just like on stage, like we're going to the next song or conversation. But I was
Yeah.
hearing you off mic saying something. Do you know what you were saying? Do you have any
Gosh,
memory?
that's cool. I got to listen with headphones again. I don't remember, but I do just, gosh, every time I do hear that, I hear Garrison Starr go, always, oh, I will. She hits this note that like a dog can hear. It's really redonkulous. And when I have played it since then, I hear her with me, it's just really stunning.
Hmm. Well, one thing that you were mentioning before about sort of how one thing about a lot of musical live performances is that they aren't sort of captured and they're ephemeral, right, by nature, and there's something you kind of can't capture. But I'm a little curious because I know you have a background in visual art and painting, and so during the pandemic, did you find yourself shifting more to the visual arts as opposed to music because you couldn't perform in those live spaces in the same way? I know, of course, you were very active in live streams.
Yeah, I found myself being a Zoom operator during the pandemic. Um, no, it's always been a balance, I think, between the two. My visual art life is much more commissioned based. Actually, I do a lot of portraits. Did a lot of pet portraits in the Pando because everybody got a Pando pup, which was great. And I actually illustrated and published a book that came out with my own publishing company. I'll grab it during the next song so you can see it. But armaturepublishing.com is one of the many things I was doing during the pandemic with my friend Lisa Ferrero. So I was doing a lot of writing and drawing and illustrating. I wouldn't say because I wasn't performing. I honestly, I think for a lot of performers too, like the stopping of the constant motion was quite a relief for a while. Except that my first thing that I did out of the gate was create the world's largest online music festival, which was Shut In and Sing, which lasted the first two. It was the first 8 weeks of the pandemic. Everybody else was like baking sourdough and learning French, and I was like doing sound checks with Keb Mo. So it didn't suck, but it was a lot.
Yeah, I was, I remember when you were doing all those because I was like furiously trying to keep up with all the different events you were having as part of that concert series because you had like every big act that I can think of in the like
Yeah,
folk roots music songwriter world. And
yeah.
I remember furiously being like, oh no, I missed another one. And there was just so much going on. And I was so impressed. And did those, I can't remember, was that a benefit for anything or was it, or to
So,
benefit the artists?
actually,
But
yeah, and I'm realizing to your point, we did it on Stage It, which is a
hmm
platform that is had a lot of issues, but the one really amazing thing about it is that it's not archived. So
hmm.
in a way, it was a way to have a live experience for folks. Kelly McCartney and I dreamt it up, and it was a socialist model of sort of like a CSA model of, folks, everybody split the pie.
hmm
So this was an idea that everybody would make more if everybody took a less, or the folks
hmm
that usually can make more. So for example, Amy Ray played a set and donated anything she made back to the whole. Um,
hmm
and that's the way we did it. Everybody said that they were in on that idea, and it really changed the landscape for folks for the first couple of weeks because you made a couple $100. There was just nothing, everything was the
hmm
rug was pulled out instantaneously for everyone. So it felt like this incredible service to be able to provide a little bit of a cushion for
hmm
everybody. And then it was sort of this wacky revelation of like, wait a minute, I made a couple $100 in my pajamas singing into my computer.
Without having to fuel up the car or get a hotel room or
all the things. Yeah. So, some people for a while were like, this new model. And now that venues are opening again, it's still this hybrid thing. I think the landscape will always be changed.
Yeah, for sure. And you are starting to get out there and perform again. I know you're actually going to be touring a little more towards our direction, not quite in the
Yeah.
Twin Cities, but you're actually returning to the venue where you recorded this album.
In the room where it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, June 26th, right?
June
So
26th.
Chicagoland folks can check out Natalie Zukerman at the Space.
Natalia, yeah.
And,
Natalia Zukerman.
and-
Yeah, I'm not Natalie. I don't
Oh,
know.
oh my gosh.
Even you did it. Everybody
I did
calls
it.
me
That's
Natalie.
so funny. How long have I known you? And it's on the screen, and I still
know.
misspeak.
It's a
Anyway.
thing. It's everybody wants me to be French, but I am Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Matt the Electrician is going to be joining you on that one, and really excited about that. And you're doing a string of dates out here in the Midwest, and then you're also going to be at the National Women's Music Festival too.
Yeah, so Matt and I are doing 3 shows. The 24th at the Arc in Ann Arbor, 25th, which happens to be my birthday, at 7 Steps Up in Spring Lake, Michigan. 26th is at Evanston Space in the room where it happened, and then I drive out to Madison and I'll play and lead a couple workshops with Lisa Ferrero at the National Women's Music Festival. Yeah, I can't wait. I miss humans. I love my little cabin, but it's good for me to get out of here sometimes.
Well, we posted the link where folks can monitor your projects and your tour dates and get things. And David said he just placed an order on the store, smooth as silk. Little concerned you're losing money though.
Yeah, me too, David. But here's the deal. I have so much stuff in my basement that thank you for buying an actual physical. Did you buy a physical copy? I don't know, but I guess you did if the shipping and handling. Yeah, I know, you're right. I should probably go in there and raise my prices. Thank you for your concern.
See, that's a true fan you have right there. And
Thank
then Joni wants to know if you have a new album coming out.
Yeah, Joni, I was going to record this winter, and then I was going to record this spring, and a lot of life changes have been going on for me, so I need to wait, which is making me very sad. But yes is the short answer. Someday, my new album will come. But I am actually, gosh, sorry about that light right there. Whoa, put my chair in front of it. There we go.
The universe was saying you do need a new album. I think that's what was happening. Oh, yeah, the God light over there, goddess light. Yep.
Anyway, I have my one-woman show that I was performing before the pandemic, and March 2020 was to be my biggest touring month of my entire career, but we know what happened. I'm resurrecting that show a bit. I'm going to Iceland in August to perform it at a theater in Reykjavik. So that album and that show is going to change a little bit. So I might do a Women Who Ride Away 2.0.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And also Alan asked, how far upstate are we talking about? He says Adirondacks come to mind. I was asking you the same thing before I came on.
Yes.
And Millerton area, right, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm in Dutchess County, which I know people who are true upstate are like, that's not upstate. It's a real estate moniker. But, the Hudson Valley. Yeah.
Excellent. And so, you am I right in thinking that you grew up around New York? Is that?
I grew up in New York City. Yeah, Upper West Side.
Mm-hmm. So it definitely for New Yorkers, I mean, Millerton is definitely upstate for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's all kinds of creatures, and they're not all rats in Brooklyn. There's foxes and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And you grew up in a very musical household. When did you know you wanted to do? And again, you do other kinds of art and performance. When did you know, or did it just take doing it to know that you were in fact doing it professionally, or was it something that you're like, oh, I want to do that because you saw it modeled by your parents?
That's funny. Yeah, you're sort of like, oh, I guess this is what I do now. It was a little bit like that. I lived in the Bay Area, and I had enough songs to make a record, but I was also starting a mural company. So I would paint and save up money and go record at night. And then, it was actually getting into the Folk Alliance community and meeting other people who said, this is a thing. You could go and get in your car and live in it till the end of days. And so I just did kind of, all of a sudden 10 years went by actually. And I was like, wow, what am I doing? Yeah, a little bit. You just sort of kept going and kept making records and kept definitely learning more. I remember my first, those conferences, I had absolutely no idea how to do anything. And everything was a complete mystery, which some of it still is, but
well, and it's always changing, right? I mean, the fact that you had to suddenly learn how to perform online and all these other things. So.
Yeah. Well, I do think, I mean, in a way, I've said this a lot, that I think the DIY musicians were well placed to pivot. We know how to do that. We get to a venue and the sound system doesn't work. Well, we figure it out. We get to the next show. We've been problem solvers. We're problem solvers every day and every night. So it was sort of like, oh, well, I know how to make websites and I know how to run a live stream because I've done it. And so I know how to teach online. I mean, I was using Zoom for 10 years before anybody knew about Zoom. So not anybody, I don't mean that, but it just means everybody, before it became the mode of communication, musicians have been using that. So I think in some ways we had an advantage.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you just tuned into Back Catalog Listening Party, we are joined by Natalia Zukerman, talking about her 2012 album, Gypsies and Clouds, recorded live at Space. And we're going to dig into one more track from it. Well, no, at least two more tracks. We'll see how much we have time for. The next one you picked was Sorry Side of Town. And this is on the second disc. Now we've migrated from the first disc to the second, I think. Is there anything you want to say about this before you take a listen?
Yeah, I mean, similar to I think the songs I chose are because they live on this record and there they shall remain. I don't play this song either anymore because I also only played it with Adrian Gonzalez on the road, who I did a duo project. We had a really fun project for a while called Art is Song, where we illustrated our own songs and then I did illustrations of a couple other artists' music too. And we would set up an entire art gallery. Sorry about my mic. I keep trying to fix the jumping around. But yeah, we would set up from town to town an art gallery and a show, and it was bananas. But it was really incredible. And she loves this song, which is an honor because she's such a brilliant writer. She's covered it. I've heard her do it herself, but playing it alone after doing it with her for years just felt like wah wah. So here's the ultimate version of it.
All right. This is Sorry Side of Town here on Back Catalog Listening Party.
One of the reasons I wanted to do this live record this way was because having written these songs and then traveling around with these folks, I feel like the songs become so much theirs as they are mine because they help me flesh them out. And there's certain songs, like I don't play that song unless Trina's around. I just don't, because why would you? No, it's just hers now. And this next song, Adrian and I have been touring a lot together the last 2 years, and we do a little thing where I'll play one of her songs and she'll play one of mine, and it's such an incredible honor, and she loves this song, which just like means the world to me. You kind of did. I don't know. I mean, and we rode off into the sunset together. you wouldn't hurt a fly. You are gentle and you are kind. You are a better person than I am. You said it could have been someone you know, or someone you're still trying to be from long ago, and I said, I'm just trying to be me now. And I like it when you come around, but you should probably go now, 'cause you don't belong here on the sorry side of town.
You're smarter than me, and I like it that way. You're the kind that gets picked for the team right away. I'd wanna be on your side any day. You are tall and mysterious. You like high-heel shoes and fancy dresses. You think I am prettier than I am. And I like it when you come around, but you should probably go now, 'cause you don't belong here on the sorry side of town. You sleep with the windows open in a city of regret. You're still hoping, yeah, and I like it when you come around. Let's go back to your place now, 'cause I don't wanna stay here on the sorry side of town. Boy, hey, I don't wanna stay here on the sad, sorry side of town anymore, yeah, anymore. Adrian Gonzalez, thank you so much.
Applause well deserved here on the back catalog listening party. That was Natalia Zukerman with Sorry Side of Town, and lots of folks loving that tune, and the harmonies just so
Sarah.
epic. Yes, Sarah
Hey, Sarah.
and
Oh, thanks, friends.
Matt. Yeah, everyone really loving this, and yeah, beautiful, beautiful tune. And I can see why, like, after you hear that version of it, you're like, I just want to do that every time.
Yeah, I mean, AG is one of those people who she can harmonize with a brick, you know. So it's just so ethereal that alone after that was just such a sad case.
And again, it's getting at that thing, right, where those magical moments that you don't always capture, right? Think of all the amazing moments that didn't make it on this record that you've had in your whole touring career, where you have, the friend in the audience who just hops on to sing on a song, or, some
Yeah.
person you met earlier that day who's opening for you, plays with you. And those are kind of those special moments. But what's cool about a record like this is this is capturing one of those, just with epic list of guests.
Yeah, it was really, I know. It was just the party that would not quit. Hmm.
So tell us a little bit about, you said that the day, like the whole day was spent, trying to get everything together for the actual sound setup. Did you have much time to hang out with the folks like before the show, or was it just kind of work, work, work all day?
We got together the night before at Trina Hamlin's and ran through each song. And then everybody's arrived. I had the idea to feed everybody. The space feeds everybody dinner, but I didn't want anybody to be hungry. I was a good Jewish mama that day, and my friend Carrie Bradley is an amazing chef. She catered, so yeah, people were. It was amazing too because it was like, it's like focal lines. We don't see each other on off, so there was a lot of just getting to hang. And actually, Brian Meir, great bass player and amazing videographer, he filmed the day. So there's a really fun like behind the scenes video of it on the YouTubes as well.
Hmm. And when you actually did the show, when like how it was structured, were folks on the stage? Did they come on and off the stage when it was their turn, or was it just kind of like a big old hang?
Yeah, so there's a picture of it. This is one of Adrian's brilliant moves. There's this really fun orange couch, and anybody who's played at Space knows this orange couch well. It's backstage, and we asked if we could move things around. They let us do whatever we wanted, so we brought furniture from backstage and brought it all. We made this sort of semicircle because the rehearsal at Trina's had been also incredible, and it was one of those things where I was like, why didn't I bring somebody to record the rehearsal? So to try to recreate what we had felt there, and part of what's so great about when you're sitting around in the living room is you can see each other. So we did that, and so we recreated the semicircle, and everybody just hung out up on stage the whole time, which was really fun. And also that might have been what I was saying, like, shut up over there.
That's right, because like they're all just like watching you. In a weird way, even when it's your friends and people you love dearly and have played with, it must be, I don't know, did it feel a little bit weird to be like, I'm performing with all these amazing artists like right behind me, or was it just like a love
No,
fest?
everybody was just showed up with their A game on every level. They were all just like fierce protector mamas that night. Like they wanted it to go so well for me. These are folks who shine in their own right and are also able to be like, you girl. So that's I'm so blessed to have that kind of community. So everybody just was trying to make it awesome. Nobody was trying to stick a pin in the balloon at all.
That's awesome. And again, if you want to hear these tracks and all their audio glory and all those and try and make out all those little side comments happening before and after the songs, you can, you still have CD copies of this, right? On your
Oh,
website.
just a few thousand. No
Okay.
problem.
So order them in bulk and give them to all your friends. Help clear out Natalia's cabin. Make more space for the next project at her website, which is right there and also linked in the
Oh,
comments.
thanks.
And because we're going to get to one more song here, not, the next 20. So you need to hear this record. It's also available on the digital places too. But again, just make sure you get the real audio files, because I will say, not every live record has this kind of fidelity to it. Listening to the raw files, it sounds amazing. It sounds like you are in the
I
room
know
in the
it.
best possible way.
I know it. Yep. So that's Space and Willie Porter.
Hmm.
The combo was a winner.
Well, we're gonna. I think we have time for this. Is one of the long ones, but I think we have time for it
Great.
if you're game. We are gonna hear one of my favorite tunes, "Brand New Frame." And yeah, is there anything you want to say about this version of it? Because this has appeared on other records too.
Yeah, this was a little like, oh frig. We got to the end of it and everybody was just sort of jamming. There had been no plan. And it felt like, oh, we might fall off a cliff. And we kind of did, but then we recovered. And it was an adrenaline rush, but it was incredibly, incredibly, incredibly fun.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna try and cue this up right here.
You can
Let's
do
see.
it.
I know. Well, of course, there it is. I found it. Okay. So,
You're
having
rocking this by yourself. She usually,
thank
if you're
you.
just tuning in, she usually has another
co-host.
co-host.
And I will say, it's I've done it flown solo before, but I have to say, it's more that when there's as much excitement as there is amongst the folks listening today, it's just a lot of buttons to push, and I want to hear everything Natalia's saying. I don't want to
You're rocking it.
phone that in. Well, thank you very much. Well, we're going to hear this song right now, which is one of my favorites. Brand New Frame, Natalia Zukerman here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Shame, shame, shame. Same old picture in a brand new frame. They unveiled it just last week. No one came, what a shame. Fool, fool, fool. Showing up naked again like that for school. And diving headfirst into an empty pool. You're a fool. No one's listening and no one cares. But someone is down there, I hear him on the stairs. No one's listening and no one cares. It's a wolf this time, I swear. It's a wolf this time. Greed, greed, greed. You said it was mine, but you put it right back on your sleeve. And goddamn it if I don't sing along and tap my feet. Poor, poor, poor. Stealing from the rich, but you're making sure there's a foundation with your name where everyone keeps score. No one's listening and no one cares. But something's happening, I feel it in the air. No one's listening and no one cares. But it's a wolf this time, and I'm crying out for you, crying out for me. I'm crying 'cause everything is just as it should be. I'm crying 'cause that's beautiful, crying 'cause it's true. You've ruined me for anyone but you. 'Cause I'm still listening and I still care. There's a door that leads out at the bottom of the stairs. When you go out, the wolf's right there. It's a wolf that's crying. Shame, 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 shame. Same old picture in a brand new frame. They unveiled it just last Friday. No
one came. What a shame. What a shame. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this evening. From the bottom of my heart, gratitude to all of you and all of you.
All right. That was Natalia Zukerman here on the Back Catalog Listening Party. Wow, brand new frame. And, the original is pretty rockin' too. Or the original studio version is pretty rockin'. But, that one is like a whole nother level. Is that everyone who played on the record was like
Everybody
jamming
was
out?
just jizzing on that song. Sorry. Yes, we're having and there was sort of, it was a free for all, but there are so many band leaders on that stage, so everybody was sort of like pointing at each other, and you go, and at the end, everybody's shame, shame, shame. But like, and I had a moment of thinking, I don't know if this was the last song of the night, and I don't want to leave the audience with like yelling shame in their face, so I thought maybe just wrap it up.
Well, that's so funny because that was before Game of Thrones and the shame, shame, shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because there's at least one moment where it seemed like like you were okay, this is it, and then there was the applause, and then it was like nope,
Nope. Yep.
which was great.
Deceptive
And
cadence.
I know, and folks really, really loving that. It's a great track to end today's show on, and it captures again the joy and the energy of people coming together to make music in a live setting, which I think after these couple years we've had, I don't think any of us will ever take that for granted again.
No way. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
And a few folks excited to hear you play live in concert again. So again, you can check out Natalia's tour dates and get to her store and buy all the albums, especially this one that we've been revisiting today, Gypsies and Clowns, her live album. And there might be a hidden track after that last song on the record.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's why that song is 14 minutes long. Hang on.
I know. I was seeing the bar go by, and I was like, is this another fake out applause
I
ending?
forgot. No, there's a great little hidden track. It's really funny.
And Steve says a great hour of music and stories, and I agree. And if you like what you heard, by the way, I failed to mention, we put it in the comments and it was on the screen, but there is also a tip jar as well. So if you already have this record and you don't need 1,000 more copies, you can just throw in some money directly into Natalia's tip
Just throw
jar.
money at us. It's fine. Yeah.
Pretty much, because you got to fuel up the car now. Now that she's touring again, she actually has those expenses and that overhead. So, oh look, someone said I already have it all.
Natasha, hi.
All the merch.
Yeah.
And Connie says another fun show. Well, thank you, Connie, for your support, and to all of you for tuning
Ellen, the
in.
show is just so fun, and yeah, Edie wrote to me earlier today too, just like, oh, it's such a fun show. You're gonna love it. It's just such a great idea, and it's sort of like a retrospective of one's work,
I know.
Mhm.
Well, and you got to sort of think back and have these memories of
Yeah.
reliving the album. And I think one thing that Anthony Ihrig, my co-host and the co-founder of the show, we really decided when the pandemic hit. You started doing your streaming series, and we were like, "There's all this great recorded music that people, so often when you're a busy touring recording musician." The only thing you're ever asked about is your newest record, and there's no sense of perspective. And then people kind of are like, okay, next one, move on, including the artists. We're working on the next thing. And
Yeah.
then but there's something special about like being able to look back and be like, this is something great I already made. Paintings are already have that kind of life, right? You see it in a gallery. Music, we often kind of forget about, especially these days. So having the moment to go back and revisit these tracks, and in this case, the experience of making the record, I think is really, really special. So we really want to thank you for being a part of it, and this is really great. Love how collaborative music is. Everyone's supporting each other. Thanks for choosing this album. Also love the hybrid of streaming that has blossomed during an ongoing pandemic. Thank you both for today. So thank you, Joni, for tuning in.
So cool.
And for all of you out there, if you are if you like what you heard today, like it on the YouTube, send more bots to Natalia Zukerman. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, because we do this every Friday with different guest artists digging into different old records. So I can't remember who's on the docket for next week, but we mentioned that the electrician who is touring with you, he's going to be a guest in a couple weeks on the show. So folks
Awesome.
can check that out. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank our Patreon supporters. These are the folks that have kept the show going even after when live music came back. We thought we'd do this for like a week or two, week or two.
Right.
Now we're on 150,
Nope.
episode 113.
Wow.
So here we go. We want to thank Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Alex, Becky, Galen, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, and John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Court, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead, Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Craig, Jake, Mary, Many Tracks, and our newest Patreon supporter, Nikki.
Yeah.
And if you want to join our Patreon, you can do that. That is the link. You can also get there from our website, backcataloglisteningparty.com. But mainly, thank you for being here. This is what it's all about. It's about coming together to enjoy music together. And this is why we do it. And it gives me an excuse to reconnect with old friends. Natalia, so great to see you. I don't
So
remember the
good to
last time
see
I've
you.
seen you. And
It was pre your child, so many life changes.
at least 3 years ago, probably.
At least.
And I can't wait to see you in person again performing. Maybe we'll go for a run.
Likewise.
Yeah. That would be really
Awesome.
fun. Well, thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Cheers. And we'll see you back next week for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party. Take care.
Okay, bye.